Thank you, Madam Chair. And I wanted to continue on. We were talking about the importance of thinning forests, and one of the solutions is having mills. And in Washington State, we have very little mill infrastructure left. And before, harvesting and milling was done in a very irresponsible way. Now we know how to do it really responsibly and support an industry and make our forests healthier at the same time. And right now, without a mill nearby, it just doesn't pencil out. Public and private landowners have to truck logs 150 miles away to the nearest mills, high cost, they end up losing money. And so locating a mill in Chelan County, where there is, again, 70% of the forest land is Forest Service land, would be such a huge win-win situation. It would bring a ton of money to the Forest Service, so you could raise wages and benefits and pay people more and get more employees in. It would support more affordable housing. It would make us less reliant on foreign steel because we could build with cross-laminated timber. And it would create a ton of family wage jobs. And so I've been in touch with our regional forester, Glenn Casamassa, about this, and just would welcome the opportunity to talk with you both more about whether we could have reliable dependence on Forest Service logs. So can you talk a little bit about that? Who could go in and do the logging if you don't have the personnel to do it? Like, how can we make this work?
So, Congressman, I would first suggest that maybe we need to sit down and talk about what the opportunities are, and then we could land on what the appropriate tool would be to do that. It's going to be very hard to answer that question in just a minute or so, but I would love to be able to sit down with you and Glenn and others that may need to be involved to talk about this very issue, because the same applies in so many other locations. So
I've got even better. You are invited, and I will send you a formal invitation to come out to Washington State and lay eyes on, areas of forest that have been appropriately managed and what happened there when a fire came through, areas that haven't, and what happened there, and just the tremendous potential for a big win-win. So please come to Washington State. I also wanted to highlight one particular landscape restoration project that's really important in my district. And I don't think you're going to have answers to these questions now, but I'll throw them out there and you can just reply later. Maybe you can even reply when you come out to Washington State. This one's the Upper Wenatchee Pilot Project. And I'll be following up, as I mentioned, with your team, but I wanted to know when an environmental assessment will be available for the public to review. Also, when we can expect the final NEPA decision, and when we might be able to see work actually starting on the ground. Because while this project is stalled, land within the treatment area is currently burning as we speak.
So, Congresswoman, I did get a briefing on this, very brief, but what I can tell you, though, is that the expectation is that NEPA should be out in spring or early summer. I think looking at the purpose and need for that project, I think it was really solid. It was really laid out well. And so now it's just a matter of working through the process. But I will look more into this, and we can have a follow-up conversation on some specifics.
That'd be fantastic. Obviously, the earlier the better. Fire season starts early, so if we get that going in spring, that would help us with the next season. I think I'll leave it there and yield back the rest of my time. Thank you again for coming today and facing some of these really big challenges. We understand how big they are and how much work you have cut out for you, and also how important it is. Thanks.